uncover my webcam cover. All right. So, thank you guys for joining us this morning. While everyone else is waking up, going to be joining in while we're doing our thing, we do have a very special guest joining us this morning. Friend that we met online first, but then we actually got to hook up with at Consensus and Decentral. His name is Dustin from Darwinia. You guys have probably seen him on Twitter. Very active, very poppin' subject in the space, let me tell you. Truly the life of at least the .sama ecosystem everywhere he goes, at least. He was our bridge, so to say. He acted as our bridge, helped us connect the dots to some of these other teams. So that was really awesome getting to be a part of that and witness not only his network connections, being connected with us, but just seeing how everything was changing, and seeing how not only that, but I think Dustin will agree with me here. The sentiment in the .sama ecosystem is a bit different than it is in most other ecosystems. I learned firsthand that, at least in person recently, when we went, a lot of these other ecosystems almost seem to have like this bit of this, like, I guess the best way to describe it is like almost like a sibling rivalry. It seemed like, like they were like, oh, I'm better at this. And well, I'm actually better in this subject over you. So this is why you should pick me, so to say. And it was really cool because all of the projects in the dot ecosystem, they weren't really in competition with one another. It was more or less like, how can we use our technology to make their technology even better and stronger of a use case? But then also in tandem, when we're partnering with them, how can we not only bolster their technology, how can they bolster ours? How can they make us better? And I got that sentiment everywhere I go. Dustin, what were some of your thoughts? I'd love to hear some of your thoughts. Feel free to share your honest opinions with our community. Like I said, these are our community calls that we do every Friday morning. So nothing but honesty and laid back here, man.
Thanks for having me, Casey. I appreciate you guys from InvArch and the community as a whole. My sentiment, some key takeaways were, like you mentioned, Casey, is to add to that is there was a lot of camaraderie when it comes to .sama ecosystem. We're very accepting of our ecosystem partners and outside of ecosystem. We really want to build out our projects and we add value where we can, and that is the insight for .sama as a whole. Like we are wanting to build with each other, and we have a lot of strengths and specifics, such as InvArch. You guys have very specifics and strengths in the IP field, and that's a lot of value to the ecosystem and as a global industry. So projects such as yours or other projects such as like a star, or if it's Metfala, Parallels, Monta, Kilt. These are projects that are facilitating their own regions and sectors of the space, but we all as a whole can add value to each other. But like you mentioned, as well as like the kind of rivalry feel of other projects that are not in our ecosystem partners. They tend to have kind of like that mix match. Like there's so many of them building the same thing, kind of feel. So it doesn't have that like unique feel, but that's okay because projects like ours, such as Darwinia or InvArch or .sama ecosystem in general, can bring those into the future and bring them forward. So it was a beautiful merge of all our projects seeing each other in the real life and being able to be like adding value as we go. So
I agree 100%. So while you were speaking on that, we had a couple more listeners join us. I think this would be a great time for everyone. Dustin won't be able to stay with us for the full community call. He does have to hop out about halfway through for his own personal endeavors. However, while he is with us, I wanted to get like a bit of your own take. Describe to our community like what you do at Darwinia, what evolution is. Because that's one of the things we like to get involved in on these calls, is to like learn what our community members, like what their projects are doing, if they work for some or what is their favorite project in the .som ecosystem aside from InvArch, because that's what this server is all about. That's what we promote here. But it's always nice to get the communities also, like, their fresh favorites, because especially in .sama as an ecosystem, we're always growing. There's always new projects popping up, so it's always good to get the community's take on new things going on, or even just their opinions, because I've had my opinion changed on one or two projects from these calls. So.
Well, um, I'm sorry, I lost. There was a lot going on. Sorry
No,
about
you're
that.
good.
Um,
Um,
oh, yeah. Sorry. One more time.
No, you're okay. Yeah, I just asked if you could give like just a brief description to our community as to what you do over at Darwinia and Evolution.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Anyways, okay, so I'm from Darwinia Network on the business development team. I've been involved actually since 2018. I've been officially on the team since 2021, like the end of the year, pretty much. What do we do over there? We're a light client messaging protocol. We offer consensus level messaging for pretty much any project when it comes to sending messages across chains, if that's including cross chain DAOs, cross swaps, or bridging. We've been in the field for consensus level messaging for bridges since 2019. So with Evolution Land was pretty much the original idea as a gamification of blockchain. But with doing so, we realized as a whole for ecosystem, we can use our bridging outside for other projects. So instead, out of the idea of Evolution Land, Darwinia Network was born. We spoke with Gavin Wood in 2018 in a China meetup, and we
Wow, that's awesome.
realized that that was a pivotal point for our ecosystem, and it resonated with us to build on the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. So instead, we started focusing on building a huge blockchain or a layer zero meta chain in this sense as an underlying infrastructure for our game or for the whole ecosystem. So, as of 2019, we built Darwinia Network, and then we deployed our Canary chain, Crab Network, in 2020 or 2019. In 2020, we went mainnet for both Crab and Crab was 19, and 2020 was Darwinia mainnet. So doing so, we've been able to tap into more of a heterogeneous EVMs and Solana. Cosmos is kind of like our kind of facilitation is to be the in and out point for either the Polkadot ecosystem and or other outside projects to bring them into our Polkadot ecosystem. And then with Evolution Land, we get to gamify our technology as our technology advances. And so we get to present it in a way and showcase it without having the daunting understanding of blockchain. So our users can understand blockchain without having to know exactly how a DEX works or how NFTs are being interoperable across multiple ecosystems, not understanding cross chain in that sense. Just sending it here and there, and kind of an easy access onboarding experience with Evolution Land. And we get to work with more of the outside ecosystem without it being like Polkadot exclusive.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at right now, is that we're finalizing our bridges and adding our light client to be more robust. And then protocols such as Beefy is being an addition, and also just kind of wrapping up our light clients in that sense with our in and out points, HRMP connections with like Karura and Moon River and stuff like that. So
Okay. Okay. Um, Being that you do work in kind of like the gamify business development aspect of things, what is your like belief for what GameFi will look like in simply 2 to 3 years from now? Most people I feel like would say five, but especially in this industry, I feel like tech evolves and grows fast. We've seen it when teams are committed; they can achieve amazing things in very short periods of time. So even like when we were at Consensus, I learned, for example, I don't know if you caught this talk yourself, Dustin, but they were talking about in the metaverse in the near future, you're going to be able to put on your VR, go into VR, dress your avatar in whatever clothes you can find on the marketplace on there, and whenever you're done, you select those, you buy them in the metaverse. But not only does your avatar then own them in the metaverse, they actually ship those clothes to you in real life so you can have the same clothes as your avatar. Do you see
Hmm.
other revolutionary things such as that being brought into the forefront of gamify? Or do you also see, even something else that hasn't been discussed yet? Like, what is your honest opinion? I'd love to hear from somebody who works directly in that kind of sect in the chain. So
Yeah, phygital NFTs. This is what it's, at least now that's what the name is. So essentially, yeah, adding value to characters in game for avatars and metaverse. I think it does have a place. It is very niche, at least at this standpoint, but I think it has a kind of stickiness in per se in like the fashion industry.
yeah,
Whereas say if you were to purchase like a pair of Jordans in the metaverse and then you decided, hey, I want these physically, it gives you kind of that feel that this is all real, instead of just the metaverse being its own identity. Um, I think we're very early on the concepts, but it's definitely here to stay, and for people to really kind of value it in the case of digital items, it definitely is something that's very exciting in the space. So yeah, I think it's something that we can all enjoy for sure.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the definitely like the revolutionary changes that they're bringing to gaming. I know just from like firsthand experience, when the very first Oculuses came out, um, and you having to use the hand sensors for a while, like that was very frustrating. Sometimes the hand sensors wouldn't work, and now it's like you can set them down, you have the detection and stuff, but the detection software is only supposed to get even better in the future, to where they said like we might not even need controllers, like you just put the headset on and you go, which I think would be crazy, right? Like that would be awesome. um, Never having to use a controller, just using a headset to launch into VR. um, but aside from GameFi, Dustin, I also wanted to get your opinion as somebody who was aware of the InvArch ecosystem, but you kind of got a more personal, I would say, deep dive into our ecosystem at Consensus and Decentral, getting to hang out with almost, I think, every single member from our team that was present. I think you got kind of a one-on-one, if you will, with almost every single one of us, and you got a sense for what we're building here, what our objective is. Without trying to like influence that from the outside, can you give me just like your honest takeaway of our project, what we're building, and where you see our place in the space moving forward?
Well, let me start from the beginning here with Dakota. Dakota is such a brilliant mind. I mean, individually, I mean, like personally, and also when it comes to InVarch, he has such a grand vision, and he has such an emotional connection, and it's beyond. It's beyond like the idea of like, oh, he just wants to create, InVarch and like, oh, this is a concept. No, like he really envisions it in a way that benefits not only him but the world. So that the way he presents InVarch is like it's very infectious and it's very resonating. And his mind state for that aspect in general, just him personally, is just he has a very beautiful mind, and I really appreciate his vision. And then going forward, maybe with AJ, we'll go with AJ. AJ is very energetic. I love his energy. I love his passion. He's a beautiful soul. We had some really personal good time, personal touches with like making some music together. That was really cool. Our final nights and spending time together. Him recognizing me, like seeing me, like, hey, let's take a picture. Like he's really good with the social media. Just like, hey man, we got to post this, we got to do this. So it's really ambitious. I love what you guys are doing, especially AJ, what he's doing. And then let's go with Gabe. Gabe is like Giga Chad brain, like um Like
Yeah,
he
no,
was
no,
just
you're 100% on the money there, man.
ultra intelligent, like, but like not in a daunting way where people are intelligent and they're like off-putting. Like he's very smart but witty, very witty. And of course GM to everybody. And I love Gabe's take on a lot of aspects. He's from Brazil, so it's a different lifestyle. And but he also is very grounding. He's young but very ambitious. Um, and yeah, when it comes back, he's just super intelligent, but he loves to have fun. He's a really fun guy. I had a great time with Gabe. Final nights, amazing. I loved it. Um, Spent time with him up until we got on our planes, basically. Just I don't know, just the whole team just had that synergy. Um, and then I keep forgetting what's his name, but it starts with an M in the on the
Madungus,
Twitter.
Madungus, yeah.
Madungus. Is that his name? Real name?
Yes, yep.
Oh, it's Madungus. Yeah, Madungus. Oh, Madungus. Sorry, my voice is still messed up. He is very brilliant. He's very sharp. He's very sharp looking, very approachable in that sense. Like, I would say like a model almost, good looking dude. Um, yeah, I could see he is very ambitious in the sense of like, um, he's able to connect with people beyond not to say myself, but like you can see that he's able to connect with like higher up people, and he did meet some people up there. So,
Yeah,
um,
Madungus, I will say that about him. He can just walk into a room, and it doesn't matter who you are. He can walk up to you and just start talking to you, and within about 5 minutes, you'll get a sense of like, okay, this guy's business, but he cares at the same time. You know what I mean? Um,
right,
that I guess that's one of the things that stood out for me when I was joining InvArch early on was I could see the passion behind the project. You know, as it stands out, like the going back however long ago it was that our founder had his original vision for the project, it wasn't as democratic and I guess better for the world as you put it. It was a very like centralized, if you will, model, and he realized that in doing so, this one business model, it was genius, don't get me wrong, but it would have enabled one man or just a board of people to have so much power over so many different industries, that he decided that ethically it was and morally it was just not the way to go. Um, which is amazing that he had that philosophical standpoint before blockchain was really even popular at all. Whenever he discovered blockchain and started realizing that, hey, I can do something here, he knew this was the route that he wanted to go. Started pitching it to some of us, and that's when we were like, wow, okay, like this isn't just some other blockchain. This isn't just another copy paste project, if you will. This is something truly unique that's not focused on just its community, not just its community, but like it's focused on the community. It's focused on benefiting the world. It's focused on fundamentally bringing change that's been needed for a long time, to the patent and copyright industry specifically. So I'm very excited to see where we're going in the future. We do have, as you know, Dustin, like we have our crowd loan coming up too on the 29th, right when we'll be going to Decoded. So very pumped for that. If you guys haven't, you can check out our Medium. We have content rolling out. We have some on it already, but you guys can expect more about TinkerNet before we actually roll out the crowd loan. So, Dustin, I guess before you have to leave us, is there anybody in the community who might have one or two questions that Dustin could answer related to either Darwinia, GameFi, or just how he enjoyed consensus, etc.? Does anybody in our community have a question they'd like to ask Dustin while we have him here? If you do, feel free to unmute yourself and just ask away. All right. Well, while no one in the community has any other questions for you, I guess my only other closing question for you, Dustin, before you have to depart us, is when it came to consensus and decentral, what was your biggest takeaway leaving consensus of, I guess, not only the Dotsami ecosystem, but just Web3 as a whole? Like, what do you see the future becoming for our industry?
Well, I'm really excited about the synergy of the development. The foundational layer is really important. People are starting to understand the value of the infrastructure,
Definitely.
and projects such as yours, such as ours, we're really facilitating that in a way that's robust and easily accessible. Um, and it's kind of shook out more of the hype, degen type people, which, it's okay, comes and goes, that goes with any industry. They're exciting, such as ours. But we're able to kind of focus on the development side. Um, and so I met a lot of individuals and projects that are here to stay, here to see the vision, here to build that infrastructure with all of us in mind, in the bigger sense of the greater good, and not having that kind of short mentality of a vision, which has been effective with this whole, economic crisis and or crypto, downfall per se. But the blockchain and Web3 is more important than the crypto side, and there's a huge separation that people are like realizing. Well, crypto could be minted and all this and that, but how is it created? Who holds the tokens, and how is your metadata for your NFTs are held for hostage, and they can be changed at any notice, without any asking, So like understanding that like the fundamentals and foundation is what is building all of this for us for these particular NFT projects to deploy their NFTs or tokens that are being released. We have to have that security. This is the most important, and I just love all these projects in our ecosystem or even outside. They're really helping facilitate that, and it's a beautiful merge of technology and passion. So I love what everyone's doing, and I hope to see more.
Yeah, dude. I really think not only Sama, but I think Web3 has a very relevant place in the near future. And it also has a very important place. I think it's going to kind of similar to there was an industrial revolution. Um, I believe there is a new technological revolution early on the rise. Uh, Before you have to leave, I know you're coming on your time. The last question I'll ask you before you go is, what are you most excited about for Polkadot Decoded? We got that coming up right around the
Oh,
corner.
I'm excited to meet more projects and ecosystem partners, and having that personal touch because you know how informal Twitter is and Spaces and
Right.
Discord and all that. It's hard to engage people in that sense, but of course sometimes people can see it. Um, and yeah, I just hope to learn something new. I'm always willing to absorb new knowledge, and hopefully Gavin Wynn shows up on day two. Fingers crossed.
That would be
Um,
amazing. Yes.
yeah, and yeah, so that's exciting for me. And I wanted to close out with about you, Casey, because I didn't say anything about you yet. And kind of wrap up like InvArch team in general. So with Casey meeting you, very very passionate. Being and especially being that you're a part of InvArch, like that transitional moment that Dakota extended that reach as you helped him too, and having that personal relationship with each other before everything. It really resonated that you guys have such a bond in InvArch, and it's more than just the project alone. It's a camaraderie. It's a brotherhood. It's like your fellow people. Like you guys are like raising each other together. Your energy, and you individually is just like the stories you told me about yourself and your family and how everything kind of came full circle. It was such a beautiful way of like how life could be for somebody that was like really trying, you know, and it resonated with me because that's who I am, you know. I've tried a lot and things didn't work out, but like then like it just works, you know. That's just how life works, and you were playing games with Dakota, and then all of a sudden you're a part of InvArch, you know. It's like it's crazy how life works, and I love your passion for the community. Like you explained, like how you guys, conduct yourselves in the community and how you connect with everyone. And it's amazing. You have so much passion for your community. Your outreach is just like it was very exciting. I even told my team, I'm like, we need to copy InVarch in that sense. Like, like not exactly, but take some inspiration for you guys. Like you guys are doing amazing. I appreciate your community for letting me up here. I appreciate you, Casey, InVarch team, the boys, uh, everybody, everybody. I can't say individually. All you guys are amazing. I had such a great time, and I love to see you guys again. Gabe is not going to be there, and God, I forget his name.
Madungus won't be there, but
Madungus, yeah, Madungus will be there, but in spirit, you guys will be there.
yep, in spirit. Well, thank you so much for your kind words. Very, very much appreciated. I appreciate your vision for the future of Web3 and what Darwinia is doing and what you're doing over there at Evolution. Very important things. I love to see your all's progress. Keep doing just what your name is, man. Keep hustling. Like you said, you have to have passion in the space. If you don't, it's evident. And not only that, but it shows to your community. You have to care about your community because without community, we don't have projects. If you don't have a community of people who support your vision for your project and then support your project when it's up and running, you don't have a project. You have to have end users who care about this just as much, if not more, than you do. So it's a very important task that we take very seriously. We try to reward our community and make sure that they know that they're appreciated every corner that we can. But thank you so much for joining us, Dustin. I don't want to take up any too much more of your time. I know you said you got a meeting to catch, so very much appreciated you joining us, giving your insights and wisdom to our community. Maybe in the future we would love to have you back on. We try to do this every Friday morning, so hey, if you're not busy, feel free to always join us, man.
For sure. Thank you very much, Casey. Thank you, InVarch. Thank you, community. Appreciate you guys. Yes, these guys are amazing. You guys have a beautiful community and team and projects. So stick around for the future of IP, and you guys really got it down. So I'd love to be here again, and I'll see you guys soon.
Later, Dustin. Thank you so much.
Love you, Dustin. Thank you. Love you guys. Love you, AJ. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Hey, all right. Before we jump into the next segment, I do see AJ is with us here, our social media manager. AJ, would you like to give any of your own thoughts or opinions on how amazing Consensus and Decentral was? Getting to network in person, I feel like was so powerful. I wasn't anticipating, to be blatantly honest, even with our community members, I wasn't anticipating things to go as well as they did. So it was very positive, and just getting that sense of camaraderie, as Dustin put it, with our community. Me personally, having a former military background, that's something that I get the sense of, like, I haven't since being in that, right? Like, since having boots on, uniform on. I haven't felt a sense of camaraderie or like true community anywhere I've worked, or been organization I've been a part of after the United States military. So being a part of Dot Samba, but not only that, being a part of InVarch for me has truly changed things. Not only just careers wise, but fundamentally has put me in a better headspace. I have this sense of actual community and belonging to something, which was something I was lacking after getting out of the military drastically. And it's not only changed like I said, like my situation for the better, but I truly feel like it's uplifted my all around spirit in a sense. I wake up and actually look forward to what I'm doing in the day instead of just waking up to grind anymore. So But with that being said, AJ, please share some of your thoughts, your opinions. Like how much did you enjoy Consensus, and maybe some key takeaways from it that you can share with the community?
Of course, yeah. Well, first and foremost, it is, or it was my first ever, well, technically decentral, because that was the first conference that the team went to, besides Casey, because he came later for Consensus. But decentral and Consensus together were my first blockchain slash crypto slash Web3 conferences that I've ever attended in my life. Amazing experience. And I'm not even just focusing on just the hype, or I'd say like the immediate vanity of what a crypto or Web3 conference offers. But the best thing that I loved about Decentral and Consensus together was really seeing people in the space, first and foremost, especially after 2.5 years of being on lockdown, going through the pandemic, not being able to see as much people, not being able to travel. I think that this can be said naturally, but it's very interesting because if you pay attention to just overall market and user mainstream sentiment when it comes to cryptocurrency slash Web3 slash blockchain, you still have this, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, but you still have this group of people, which really is like a lot of the majority, where they regard crypto as a scam, and they'll label it as a scam, and they'll call Web3 a buzzword. I in fact actually came across quite a few TikToks on that today. But the reason I say this is because attending these conferences truly justified that. Okay, despite that, there are 99% of the projects, and just being completely honest and transparent with our own community here right now, 99% of the projects that I personally saw at Decentral, they won't exist later on. Let's just be honest. And that can be said with the entire market. As they say, as these crypto influencers, these key thought leaders, whatever, say that it's true. In the next 5-10 years, you won't see the many projects that you are hearing about today. But regardless of all of that, what I'm trying to say is, regardless of all of that, crypto slash blockchain is alive and well. No matter what people say, no matter what people who do not have experience in the space or deny or try to push it away, it's real. It's real. People talk about it. People want to talk about it. People want to invest in it. People want to make it a part of their daily lives. And it was just so fascinating to see that. And it just I guess what I'm innately speaking to is it's just so amazing to see the power of community in front of my eyes, unfolding and happening in front of me. So that's something that I can mainly take away from both conferences. And the next big thing I would say, on a more macro scale, I guess, would be specifically to the Polkadot ecosystem, especially with Consensus, and the outside events. So Hot Summer Rooftop Party, the Akala Party, the Parody Party. The Polkadot ecosystem is so strong. It is so very strong. But not only that, the people, and as you've heard Dakota talk about in the Weekly Wednesday, if you've caught up on that, which was released 2 days ago, the people in the space, the projects, the people that you see online on Twitter, the leaders in these projects, the devs, the chads, the founders, the co-founders, all these people, like I could say we met like the majority of them, of those who attended, of the projects that attended Decentralized Consensus, but like Composable, like Akala, like Manta, like Fala, these people, I mean, one, they're real.
Right.
There was this like ongoing inside joke between us InvArch team members, and it's like, oh, hey, you're real. You're not just, but I mean, like, they are real people. They're real people, and not only are they real in like a literal sense, but in a more metaphoric sense, where it's like, they're truly genuine. They're truly authentic. And there's not one person that I've met that I didn't like, or that I couldn't vibe with immediately, or that I couldn't come to like. I like everyone, and I have so much love for everyone in the space of whom I met so far. Granted, like in any industry, there's going to be people that you won't like. I'm pretty sure that's going to come at some point. It's natural with human relations. Same thing that I experienced in like the banking industry. It's imminent, right? But I mean, like, immediately and first impressions wise, like this is truly substantial to not only see but to hear and like firsthand experience. And because of that, and I forgot to mention as well, they even like for example, if you go on Twitter, or if you've been on Twitter, you've been following these people that I mentioned, and you see them tweet or basically write online about their tech, how it works, why other tech doesn't work, why is their tech more a better solution than previous solutions that have been introduced prior, right? They walk their talk. They don't just talk their talk, and that is super, super, super just impressive to see. Like, I know I'm recycling words here.
Yeah,
but
no. Not to cut you off. Not to cut you off, but it's needed.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It is needed in the space, because you look with
needed,
traditional Web 2 companies, like, not to bash names here, but like Facebook, things like this, like the manipulation of our metadata across the internet is unbelievable. The distrust and disconnection that most people now feel towards these major corporations that run centralized companies, it's there. And you can't say it's not. Like, for example, when we start up our laptops now, we have webcam covers for because we know people can access that, and us not be any the wiser. Things like this shouldn't be the norm. And it's sad that with Web 2 and the current state of things, we've accepted that this is normal, that we don't have true online privacy, things like that. And that shouldn't be the case. Solutions like not only ourselves, but other ones that are building security protocols, these types of things, like, they are so needed in the space. It shouldn't even be an argument of we have to justify why blockchain is a good solution and why we are relevant. It's more or less we have to justify them trusting a trustless solution over a person. And sometimes that can be a little frustrating, but to drive adoption, it's needed. I don't know about you personally, but like my own family, very, very detached from technology, right? My parents especially, they're almost getting into their 60s. And whenever I started down this industry, they thought that, like, they told me I was insane, that I was walking away from a good job, that this was going to be like a fad. Like, I had everything to worry about, right? And I can tell you it's been the total opposite. This project has meant everything to me and has been everything for me since I stepped onto the team. Like, I've built a sense of camaraderie with you all. That's been restored. That's greatly helping me. Just alone, the financial benefits of being like a part of blockchain, being a team member here, is amazing. This job opportunity in and of itself that didn't exist, 2 years ago, has been transformative for my life in every sense of the word. I don't know where most of our community members are from. I know a lot of them live similar to yourself, like you live in like a not necessarily a city, but like relatively close.
Yep.
Um, I live in a very rural area. I'm talking. I grew up in a town of 300 people, um,
Yeah.
and now I live in a town of less than 6,000 people, and we have 2 grocery stores and like 5 restaurants. When I tell you there really is no job opportunity where I live, and there's no
Yeah.
solution to it. It's a very real problem, and it destroys my communities like mine every day, unfortunately. And I think solutions like Web3, these community building um, tasks that we're doing, the things that we're building for a better tomorrow, I think it's going to change all of that. I think, um, and as it should have been in the past already, building these decentralized solutions to make it to where everyone, no matter where you're at in the world, no matter where you set on a financial spectrum, whether you've had a silver spoon in your mouth from the moment you were born, or you've grown up in poverty and only known poverty your whole life, everyone will be able to have equal outcomes and solutions on this platform. And I think that's what's very, very revolutionary. Um, with platforms like us, it truly will be how much is your passion for the IP set or project that you're trying to build, whatever you're trying to start. And if you have the passion and the drive there, the community will back you. So I think it's unbelievably critical that projects like us continue to develop, but not only us, but I think projects in the future, like you said, sometimes it's not necessarily creating a brand new solution, it's improving an old one. So who's to say in a few years from now, there's not improvements to be made here, new things coming out that we have to account for in the future that we're not thinking about or accounting for now simply because they don't exist. So it's very real, man, and I think it's crazy. Um, Sorry, I got on a bit of a ramble my own there. Let the passion take over, if you will. um, but Gabe, I know you're here with us as well. If you wanted to give any of your own sentiment, feel free to about how consensus went, or how you enjoyed Decentral, or anything regarding the workshop coming up. If you want to say any words, feel free to unmute yourself as well and join in. I know sometimes your mic doesn't always work in tandem, so if it doesn't right now, that's totally fine. I'd seen you were here, so I wanted to give you the opportunity to speak to the community as well. um okay, yeah, he said his mic's not optional right now. So anyways, with that being said, AJ, what is your? I know we talked about the sentiment around consensus. What is your biggest excitement preparing to move forward to Decoded? I want to get that for the rest of our community as well. Before I just close up with some closing reminders and statements, where I'm trying to keep the community call probably under an hour, just that way everyone has time to get to bed and respectively where they live at, because most of our community it's getting into their evening.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can't lie. um, I am definitely excited to hear and watch Dakota speak live in New York. Um, I mean, like, it's one thing to like kind of always be around him like online, and also being around him during like for a week during like consensus and like decentral.
Right.
Um, and already getting that like first person, um, experience of him, like just really just not like spilling, but like really expressing his intelligence, right? But like to see that become more of a example, or like exemplified on stage, like that's super super powerful. I know it will be powerful to see. And then apart from that, the more networking, the more dot sama projects and leaders that I know that I'll be able to meet during Polkadot Decoded in New York. I'm also looking forward to that as well.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, AJ, for also sharing your sentiment. I know we're both a little biased in that sense. I'm pretty excited to also see Dakota's speech in New York. I think it's going to be an eye opener for a lot of people, not only in .sama, but a lot of people in Web3 who will watch this later on. You know, like the
It's gonna be
future,
huge.
the future of an authenticated internet. Like,
yes.
holy cow, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, like basically, it's like InvArch on a big stage, right?
yeah, it'll be one of the most impactful moments for our project yet, no doubt about it. And just being able to get to experience that in person will be an honor. I know you feel the same way, but like I'm super excited. You know, fingers crossed, as Dustin said, we don't know for sure, but fingers crossed. It would be awesome if Gavin Wood was there. That would be incredible.
Most likely.
I mean, it's the city. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He has to be.
The Big Apple, you know. So
I'm back.
Oh, hey, what's up, Dustin?
Yeah. So I spoke
bars for the community, man.
Oh yeah. Okay. GM again with my friends with InvArch in the community. We about to make it like a truant, so not making an influence. I'm like, dang. Casey with his 2 cents. AJ saying about Gavin Wood. We about to go through the Brooklyn and go to Manhattan in the hood. But you know what? This is where we about to stay. We're about to slay at the West House, or what's that place called? I don't even know where we're about to go. But hey,
that is some fresh alpha bar content for our community from Dustin. Just so you guys are aware. That was awesome.
He's a real like lyricist. I'm not kidding.
That was impressive. All right, guys. So really quick, just to shoot a couple reminders before we start wrapping things up. We try to keep these things under an hour because we do try to record them. So we do have the InvArch Brainstorm Testnet Community Workshop Part 2 getting ready to come up. As of Saturday, June 11th, registration for Part 2 of the InvArch Brainstorm Community Workshop has been open. So if you have not registered and you want to, please do. The workshop is going to excuse me, that was a mouthful. The workshop will take place this upcoming Sunday, June 19th, 2022 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, New York or United States time. So be sure to register if you're interested. It's also important to note individuals who actually participate in the workshop will be gifted the Brainstorm NFT badge. If you join and you're not participating, you just watch, then that's totally fine. But do know you have to actually participate in order to receive Brainstorm NFT badges. Another update for you guys. So the .sama community has decided that the Tinkernet token supply needed to be updated. So as you all know, it has changed. These reflections currently do reflect now. The hard cap we are seeking is going to be 15,000 KSM for our slot auction, the 42nd slot on Kusama. The actual auction gets ready and begins on June 29th. Currently, this is not financial advice, but if anybody is interested in contributing your Kusama, the earlier the better. And Kusama is currently down $49 to $49.03 on the market, according to my phone at this moment. So just keep that in mind. We do have that coming right up around the corner. If you want to get some tinker and get ready to play around, I highly suggest you prepare for that. With that other thing in mind, just so you know, a few things that you guys can be aware of. The InvArch Text Assemble program, or the InvArch Builders program, will be opening up on July 1st. We will open up the enrollment process to the InvArch Text Assemble initiative. Just a couple quick things. If you guys wanted to have like an idea of just some examples, we have listed in our article. Just a few things that could be built by you all in Varchitex. For infrastructure, you could do ZK-proof IP tooling, SEPA tooling, IP indexing solutions, ZK Oracle solutions, framework libraries, ZK IP block explorer. Some applications could be an IP license marketplace, on-chain edu hubs, decentralized incubators, IP bounty boards, a music collaboration dApp, featuring Dustin because he's got the polka dot raps, or even Pokemon like Web3. We also had a Cointelegraph article be released. If you guys missed that, please go back, check our community updates, and check it out. Lots of cool information there. It's always nice to be recognized in the space. We talked a lot about our recap to Austin, so I don't think there's anything else to like recapitulate there. The only other thing, guys, is to be, pumped up, prepared for Decoded. As you all know, our founder will be speaking there. It's going to be an amazing time. Say your hopes and prayers that Gavin Woods shows up and is personally there to watch that speech. That would be awesome. We think that regardless of how that goes, the speech is going to be amazing. It's going to wow a lot of people. Decoded is going to be amazing. I think it's going to obviously up some of the adoption rate in the space, especially with Sama. But I do think it'll help reignite some of the fire that people used to feel like back when we were at the all-time high with Polkadot, $55. Man, people were on fire. Twitter was on fire. People were hype. And since some of the market has taken a hit, some of that hype has seriously dwindled down. But for anybody who's here for the tech and they understand the importance of what everyone is building in this ecosystem, the price shouldn't even affect it. Like, it does affect it to an extent, but if you're here for the tech and you don't sell, if you're buying it for utility, not to try to get rich, that's what matters. We own utility, not tokens at the end of the day. So it's important to always hold on to that sentiment, not let the market get you down. And as our social media manager said yesterday, on actually I believe it was very late this morning, on Twitter, he released a thread talking about even like celebrity influence over blockchain and crypto. I don't know about you guys, but I like to do my own research. A lot of people who are necessarily they drive like FUD about crypto and blockchain, especially wealthy individuals. You have to remember where they're coming from, and a lot of these individuals stand to possibly lose a lot of revenue and assets if everything starts leaning more towards decentralization than a centralized world. So they have every reason in the world to tell you blockchain/crypto is a scam and that you should stay away from it, that it's bad for your health. Like, the list goes on. We've seen some pretty crazy things. Um, Even celebrities being sued and facing active lawsuits for rug pulls. You know, um, I'll name just one, for example. Like, Kim Kardashian is currently I believe under a lawsuit for actively participating in a crypto rug pull. So there, I mean, things like that happen all the time. Everyone needs to be aware of what you're investing in before you invest in it, um, and understand what the project is doing. If it's legit, if it's just a meme, if it's a fad, you need these to be aware of these types of things before you go. Not only shilling it to your friends if that's your thing, but you need to understand what it is you're talking about and what it is you are promoting throughout the network. Um, well, guys, in the spirit of trying to keep this under an hour, we only have about 7 minutes left. So while we do have our honorary guest back with us, we have AJ as well. Gabe, his mic's not currently on right now, so I will say thank you for Gabe to our community. He appreciates all of your all's kind words and support for the project. As you all know, he's leading the building over here. So everyone in the community should at least have a very big sense of gratitude towards Gabriel. He's an amazingly bright individual building the future of Web3 today. So thank you from myself, Gabe, for what you're doing here at InvArch and for the rest of Web3. Um, AJ, do you have any closing statements for our community before I give the mic over to Dustin for a closing statement?
Yeah, I'll try to keep this super short. I know I can go on for a long time, but everyone, big things are coming up with the project. With InVarch, we have a crowd loan, the Kusama auction just around the corner. So if you can try to keep in touch, keep updated, follow each weekly Wednesday that comes up, because it's only up from here, and there's so much to happen.
Thank you so much, AJ. Dustin, since you rejoined us, man, do you have any closing statements for our community before we end this InVarch community call?
Yes, sir. Less trust, more truth. Not your keys, not your crypto.
There you go. Wise words. Wise words. Well, guys, thank you all so much for being a part of this InVarch community call. As you all know, we try to do these every Friday morning at the same time as long as circumstances allow. So next Friday, try to catch me at the same time. We'll do it again. Just closing reminders. We got, as AJ just also brought up, we've got the TinkerNet crowd loan getting ready to come up. Get your KSM ready. And also be on the lookout. We have a lot of content expected to drop in between now and Decoded. So be prepared for that, guys. If you all are interested in becoming ambassadors, make sure you go to our website, go to the community section. There is an application form about halfway down, I believe, or you can scroll all the way down to wherever you're at on our website, and there's a community tab you can click. It should link you, I believe, directly to the actual application. The ambassador applications themselves, it's titled the Embassy Initiative, just to clarify for anybody that might get confused. I've had a few questions about that. So, with those closing statements, guys, once again, thank you all so much for attending. Thank you all so much for supporting the project. We're building an amazing project here in the space that's going to cement the significance of not only ourselves, but a lot of other projects in .sama. Our tech is planning on bolstering a lot of others' tech. So, with that being in mind, guys, just keep on the fire, keep motivated, stay passionate, and I hope you all have an awesome rest of your weekend. And from all of us here at InvArch, enjoy, guys. Later.